Hello everyone, my name is Naman Goyal and today we are going to continue the chapter comparing quantities, right? Okay. So in this lecture, what we are going to learn, we are going to learn how we convert the ratio to percent. Okay. Okay. And as I told you in previous lecture, we are going to learn about unitary method in this chapter. Okay. In this lecture, not chapter, in this lecture. So in this lecture, we are going to learn about unitary method. We are going to learn about profit and loss and simple interest also. Okay. Okay. So first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to learn about how we convert ratios to percent. Okay. To convert a ratio into the form of percent, simply divide m by n, then multiply the result by 100. Okay. So basically, this line is what m is to n. If the ratio is m is to n, then you can write down this as m by n. Then for making as and see the ratio is given. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to convert that ratio into fraction. And we know that how we convert a fraction into percentage by multiplying the result by 100, isn't it? Okay. But see, the concepts are going to be more clarified by the helping of questions, right? So write down a question, good question, basically, a very good question. Okay. So Reena's mother said to make idlis. Okay. You must take 2 part rice and one part one part dal. Okay. Now, what percentage of such a mixture? What percentage of such a mixture would be rice, and what percentage would be dal? Would be dal. Okay. So what we have to do, we see in this question it is given that now Reena's wants to make idlis, right? Now Reena's mother said you must take 2 parts of rice and one part of dal. Okay. And now question is asking for what percent of such a mixture would be rice. मतलब उसमें rice कितना percent है and dal how much percent are there. So now tell me how many total parts are there? 2 plus 1. See, 2 parts for rice and 1 part for dal. So total part is 3 parts are there, isn't it? Okay. So what we have to do? See, what we have to do? We have to take 3 parts, right? Total. Now ratio for rice. Now I am asking for ratio of rice. How much part rice is there? Ratio, fraction, or we can say that. So 2 part is there out of how much? 3. So this is the ratio of rice, and the ratio of dal. It is what? How much? 1 part and 3 total part. So now if I'm asking for percentage of rice is what? That fraction we got into 100, right? Okay. So if you solve this, you will got 200 upon 3. So it gives what? 66 2/3%. Okay. Now percentage for dal. Percentage of dal. Okay. So it will be 1 upon 3 into 100. So it will be what? 100 upon 3. So how much you got when you solve this question? You will got 33 1/2. percent. 1 by not 2, 1 by 3. Okay. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to find out the ratio of that particular item. Then we can find the percentage for that particular item. Okay. So this is the question, how we convert ratio to percentage. Okay. Now there is another question, we are going to do that only. Okay. Okay. We have the space, right? Let me check. Yes, we have this space. Okay. Okay. So the question is, write down, if rupees 250 is to be divided to, this is 250. Okay. Is to be divided amongst Ravi, Raju, and Roy. Okay, so that Ravi gets two parts, Raju three parts, and Roy five parts. Okay, now how much money will each get? Will each get? Question mark. And what will be in percentage? Percentage. Okay. Now basically question says that we have 250 rupees, right? Now we divide that 250 rupees. See, we give two parts to Ravi, three parts to Raju, and five parts to Roy. So first of all, we have to find out, see, the ratio between them, between three of them, money is divided is 2 is to 3 is to 5. So total part, if I'm asking for total parts, is what? 2 plus 3 plus 5, isn't it? Which is 10, right? How much it is? 10. So first of all, we are going to find out the amount received by each. Amount received by each. Okay. Then we are going to find what? Percentage of money for each. Okay. So for what we are going to do first? We are going to do first for Ravi. Okay. So first for Ravi. So what is the part Ravi got? 2 out of 10 parts, and total money is what? 250, right? So if you solve this, you will get rupees 50. So rupees 50 is received by what? Received by Ravi. And if I'm talking about percentage, then what we have to do? We have to divide that ratio into 100, right? So how much Ravi got? 20% of total money is getting by Ravi. Now next is Raju. So 3 parts for Raju upon 10 into 250, right? So how much you got? If you solve this, you will got 75 rupees. Are you getting my point? And for percentage, this will be 3 by 10 into 100. It will be what? 30%, right? Okay. Now the next is what? Roy. So for Roy, where is Roy? Where is Roy? Roy get 5 parts, right? So it will be 5 upon 100. Upon not 100, upon 10 into 250. It will be what? rupees 125. If you solve this, you will got 125. Okay, now the next for percent, right? We have to find out for percent also. It will be 5 by 10 into 100, and it gives how much? It gives 50%, right? So this is the answer for this particular question. Are you getting my point? So what we learn about how we convert ratio to percent. Okay, now next method is what? Unitary method. What is the next method is unitary method. So as I told you in previous class, in unitary method what we have to do, see, the unitary method is a technique for solving a problem by first finding the value of a single unit. So what we have to do in unitary method, first we have to find the value of a single unit, and then finding the necessary value by multiplying the single value unit. Now if question is asking for find the cost of that particular 5 units, so what we have to do, we have to multiply it by 5 with the cost of that one unit. Are you getting my point? Okay, in a sense this method is used to find the value of a unit from the value of a multiple one and the value of the multiple. Okay, okay, now if I'm talking about a question, so if a question is like that, in 20 liters of petrol, car travel 100 kilometer. Now tell me, in 50 liters of petrol, how much distance car travel? Okay, so basically it is given that key in 20 liter of petrol, car travel 10 kilometers. So what we have to do, we have to find out, see, 20 liter petrol is equals to 100 kilometer. So what we have to do, we have to find out for 1 liter petrol. So for 1 liter petrol, it is what? 100 upon 20, which is 5 kilometer, right? So now for 50 liter, now for 50 liter petrol, car travels, how much travels? 50 into 5, right? So it will be 250 kilometer. How much we got? 250 kilometer. So car travels 250 kilometers for 50 liters. Are you getting my point? So this is simple, right? Unitary method. Okay, now next topic is very important, profit and loss. Okay, profit. See, there are basically three things, basically two things. First is cost price, second is selling price. Okay, this is in short form, this is known as CP and this is known as SP. Okay, okay, now see, cost price is what? The amount at which I buy, a shopkeeper buy any item. And selling price is what? The cost at which, the amount at which shopkeeper sold any item. So this is selling price and this is called what? Cost price. Now there are three conditions. First is if he makes profit. Second is if he makes loss. And third condition is what? If he makes no profit and no loss. There are three possibilities, right? Okay, now see, if he makes profit, then it is definitely that CP is greater than SP. Yes. What is the CP? See, CP is what? The amount at which I buy, a shopkeeper buy an item. And SP is what? The amount at which the shopkeeper sold an item. So if he makes a profit, then it is definitely that कि SP is greater than CP ना. देखो अगर जिस रेट से उसने बेचा है वो अगर ज्यादा होगा जिस रेट से उसने खरीदा है उससे, तो डेफिनेट सी बात है प्रॉफिट होगा. So in that case we can say that SP is greater than CP, right? In that case we can say that SP is greater than CP. और अगर SP greater than CP है, so how we find the profit? SP minus CP, isn't it? This is the profit we have. Okay, now for loss. अच्छा, अब मैंने जिस रेट से आइटम खरीदा था और मैंने जिस रेट से आइटम बेचा है, द CP इज जिससे खरीदा है एंड द SP इज जिससे बेचा है. अब CP ज्यादा होगा मतलब मैंने महंगा खरीदा सस्ता बेच दिया. सो दैट द केस पर्टिकुलर केस इन विच वी फेसेस लॉस, तभी लॉस होगा, है ना. सो इस केस में लॉस वाले केस में क्या होगा बच्चों? CP is greater than SP, right? And if CP is greater than SP, so less loss is what? CP minus SP. CP minus SP is the loss, right? Are you getting my point? Okay. Now, if no profit, no loss is there, means the SP is equals to CP. SP is equals to CP. So we cannot find the value of profit. Profit is zero and loss is also zero. Are you getting my point? So this is the basic idea or basic terminologies we are going to use in this topic in which profit and loss is there. Okay. Now see, question is asking for what? Ki how much percent we faces loss? How much percent of profit? Profit percent or loss profit? Loss percent. See, all the things. If you are talking about profit, if you are talking about loss percent, if you are talking about profit percent, all the things are going to be find out with respect to what? CP only. So if I'm asking about profit percent, it is what? Profit upon CP into 100. Or as I told you, profit can be written as what? SP minus CP. So it will be written as SP minus CP upon CP into what? 100. Are you getting my point? Similarly, loss percent. If I'm asking for, if question is asking for loss percent, so it is what? Loss upon CP. All the things are going to be find out with respect to cost price. Okay. So loss is what? CP minus SP upon CP into 100. Are you getting my point? So this is the concept behind profit and loss percent. Okay. Okay. So we can do some examples for this particular situation. Okay. 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 So we have the place, right? We have that place. Okay. Now see. Okay. Yes. Now for particular item, if for particular item, for an item, if CP is at rupees 72 and SP is rupees 80, then find profit percent. Find profit percentage. So if you see SP is greater than CP, then it is sure that we make a profit, isn't it? So profit percent is what? SP minus CP, or we can say that profit upon CP into 100, isn't it? So it will be 80 minus 72 upon 72 into 100. So it becomes 80 upon 72 into 100. So it will be 9 times 100 by 9. What we have? 100 by 9%. So if you solve this, you will got 11 1 by 9%. Got it now? So we can do these questions like that only. Okay. So if you faces the loss, then you can do that. Okay. Are you getting my point? Okay. Now the next question is what? Write down the question. Good question, na? Good. The cost of a flower vase is rupees 210. Okay. not 210, we can take it as 120. Okay, 120. ठीक है. Okay, if the shopkeeper, if the shopkeeper, right, it is not shopkeeper, it is shopkeeper, right? If the shopkeeper sells it at a loss of 10%, okay, then find the price at which it is sold. Find the price at which it is sold. Now see, for this particular question, cost price is given, loss percent is given. Now it is asking for what? SP. Okay. Okay. Now see, loss is 10% of the cost price. As I told you, loss or profit percent always find out on what? CP, right? So we can say that solution. Loss is what? 10% of the cost price. Lost is what? 10% of the cost price, which is written as 10% of 120, right? It is like that. So it will be what? 10 upon 100 into 120. This is 120, right? So if you solve this, you will get how much? Rupees 12. So means rupees 12 you faces loss, right? Okay, now as we know that what? Loss is what? CP minus SP. So SP can be written as what? CP minus loss, right? So in question, CP is 120 minus loss is 12. So the SP is 108. So if question is asking for same selling price, it will be what? 108 only. Are you getting my point? Very simple. Okay. We can do this question like that. Okay. Now move to next topic. Yes. Now next topic is what? Simple interest. Okay. Now interest is what? When you borrow some money from anyone, from bank or any person, they will charge some extra amount for that particular money. So that extra amount is known as principal. It's known as simple interest. Okay. And simple interest probably applicable as percent. Okay, if I give you some, for example, if I give you 1,000 rupees for 1 year, and I told you I will take 10% of that thousand money every year extra. So that 10% is what? Rate of that simple interest, and that extra amount is known as simple interest, the interest amount of that interest. Okay. So what we have? We have interest and principal value. See, what is principal? Principal is what? The basic amount, the base amount I gave you, which is 1,000 rupees for this example. So I gave you 1,000 rupees. So that 1,000 rupees is what? Principal amount. And the extra amount is known as interest. Okay. So basically there are two types of interest, simple interest or compound interest. But compound interest we are going to learn in later classes. Okay. So after percentage, as I told you, simple interest is applicable on percentage, right? And 10% per annum, 5% per annum. It depends on the person to person, right? Okay, so what is the amount, total amount you have to pay after a particular time, which is principal amount you have to pay, and that interest you have to pay, right? Are you getting my point? You have to pay this thing, amount, this amount. Okay, so if you borrow money for multiple years, then there is a formula for interest. For simple interest, there is a formula P into R into T upon 100, where P is principal value principal value. Okay. R is rate of interest and T is a time. T is what? Time. You can take time in years. Okay. If it is depends on what? The rate, the given in question. Okay. Okay. Now we can do a question. We can do a question. Simple question. Okay. Question is rupees 10,000 is invested at 5% interest rate per annum. Okay. Find the interest at the end of 2 years. Okay. Now see, P is 10,000, R is 5, and T is 2. So simple interest is what? 10,000 into R is what? 5 into time is 2 upon 100. Isn't it? This is not 0, 100. 20 will be cancelled out 20. So the interest you have to pay is 1,000 rupees. After 2 years, you have to pay how much? 1,000 rupees. And total amount is what? 11,000 you have to pay. So that extra 1,000 is known as interest. Are you getting my point? Yes. Okay, now there is a question we have to do. Okay. Now, if the profit is given to be 30%, it means if the cost price is 100, then the selling price is what? So as I told you, 30% of CP, right, is the profit. Is the profit, right? So we can find out the profit is 30% can be changed to fraction. How much? How we change that percent to fraction? By dividing it by 100 into CP is what? 100. So it will be rupees 30. So as I told you in previous questions, see SP is what? See, basic idea is what? Profit is nothing but SP minus CP. So SP can be written as SP minus CP is profit. So SP can be written as CP plus profit. CP plus profit. So question is asking for what? CSP. So SP CP, how much CP is? 100 rupees. And how much profit we make? 30. So the selling price. So the value of selling price is rupees 130. So answer is option A. Okay. Okay. Next question. We have to move to next question. Okay. Now one dealer buys an article for rupees 100 and sells it to it for 101. Then his profit is. Now see. Now cost price. Tell me what is the cost price? Rupees 100. Buys an article, a dealer buys an article for rupees 100. It means what? Its cost price is what? Cost price for particular item is for rupees 100 and sells it for rupees 101. So selling price is rupees 101. So as we know that profit is nothing but SP minus CP. So it will be 101 minus 100. So it will be rupees 101. Only 1 rupee. Okay. I don't know why he won't make 1 rupee profit. Okay. Yes. Nobody. Nothing. Okay. If I'm asking for what is the profit percent for this particular question, if I'm asking for profit percent, so profit percent formula is what? Profit upon CP into 100. So it will be what? Profit is 1 upon CP is what? 100 into 100. So 1% profit he makes. Are you getting my point? Next is if cost price is rupees 2500 and actual profit is 25 rupees, so then profit percent, and we know that the formula, see, CP is what, 500, profit is given is rupees 25. Now we know that profit percent is what, profit upon CP into 100, isn't it? Now tell me, what is the profit he makes? Rupees 25 upon CP is what, 500. As I told you, ki profit percent or loss percent always find with respect to CP. So if you cancel out 20 by 20, it will give 25 upon 5. How much we got? 5. It will be 5%. So the profit percent he makes is 5%, which is 5%. Are you getting my point? Okay. Okay. So in today's lecture, what we learn, as I told you, we learn about ratios to percent, how we convert ratios to percent. Then we learn about unitary method, we learn about profit and loss, and we learn about simple interest. Okay, all the points are very important. We do so many questions for ratio to percent, unitary method, profit and loss percent. This is the basic idea of profit and loss. This is simple interest idea. There are some questions we do in class. Okay. Okay, so thank you so much. Stay safe and enjoy. See you in next lecture. Thank you. Bye.